Hey guys, GamerZach here and welcome to my top 10 PC adventure games to watch in 2017. Now, adventure games can be anything from classic point and clicks to artistic explorations to epic and thrilling journeys through new worlds. Well, it's time you open your eyes to the endless adventures that lie on the horizon. First up, we've got Sea of Thieves by Rare. A pirate multiplayer adventure. Sail the seas, search for buried treasure, compete with other pirates, and earn your riches. The game has a focus on cooperative multiplayer and also crafting and PvP. It looks like a fun game to play with friends, but it's still a bit early to say how great it will be, or if it'll be an exciting solo experience. It's currently in a technical alpha, and it's coming to Windows 10, so if you're into pirates, you should keep an eye on this one to see if it lives up to the dream. Next we have Thimbleweed Park by Terrible Toybox, a classic point-and-click from the makers of Monkey Island and other Lucasfilm games. 5 people with nothing in common are drawn to a rundown, forgotten town. This is a neo-noir mystery set in 1987 with 5 playable characters who face puzzles, a bizarre world, and plenty of jokes. We don't get a lot of classic point-and-clicks these days, and it'll be interesting to see if they can bring the genre to modern gaming. Then we've got Finding Paradise by Freebird Games, from the creators of To the Moon. That should say enough, really. If you don't know what To the Moon is, go check that out. If you do know what To the Moon is, then I really don't need to say much. Expect more memory traversal, piano music, and crying. Next up, we've got Totem Teller by Grinning Pickle. Explore a beautiful, broken world. Right off the bat, the art style alone is enough to set this one apart. It's a game about storytelling and discovery as you resolve glitches and choose how the story is retold. Not too much has been seen so far though, so actual gameplay is unclear at this point. If you like the look of it, keep watching its development and see if it shapes up to be a great experience. And then we have Knights and Bikes by Foam Sword. Little girls kicking up hell on a small British island in the 1980s. An adorable hand-painted action adventure where you take on the role of 2 girls as they uncover treasure, mystery, and trouble. Successfully funded on Kickstarter and published by Double Fine, it looks like it's shaping up to be a fun game to play solo or with a friend in online or local co-op. Next we have What Remains of Edith Finch by Giant Sparrow. A collection of strange tales about a family in Washington state. Some would call this a narrative adventure, while others would label it a walking simulator. But either way, it's a first-person game where you explore and discover stories about your family and their unfortunate demise. Some of the language on the Steam page talks big, promising that we'll be humbled and astonished. And I feel like if you're into these kinds of games, you'll love this one. And if you don't, then I think you've already made up your mind. Then we've got Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale series. It's the obligatory Telltale game for the year. I'm starting to feel like we won't go a year without a new Telltale game being announced, and this year we go to space. You can expect an episodic model, timed choices, and all the other trappings of a Telltale production. Interestingly, the game will be based on the comics rather than the films, and will have different voice actors. As with every year, the big question will be if Telltale will innovate or stick to what they're known for. Next up we have State of Mind by Daedalic Entertainment, a futuristic thriller about transhumanism, set in a world torn between a dystopian material reality and a utopian virtual future. Play as multiple characters in 2 distinct worlds in this third-person adventure. The game definitely has a style to it and promises multiple layers to its story-driven gameplay. It looks promising, but we really haven't seen much of the game so far, and as with any game in that state, we should keep an eye on its development and wait to see what it's really like. And next we've got Shadow of War by Monolith Productions. The continuation of Shadow of Mordor. Adventure back into Mordor and follow the next steps in the journey of Talion and Celebrimbor as they face off against Sauron's armies. The Nemesis system has been expanded to building your own army, and in terms of combat, I always felt like Shadow of Mordor had one of the more refined executions of that combat system. It's promising no 2 players will experience the same story, and overall looks to be a step up. Personally, the first game turned out better than I was expecting, so let's hope they don't ruin what's good and that this is actually a step forward. Finally, we have Shenmue III by YSNet. A long-awaited sequel after a highly successful Kickstarter campaign in 2015 that raised over $6 million, we're now in sight of the game actually being completed. Set after the events of Shenmue II, our protagonist sets off on a new journey. Staying true to the Shenmue experience, the latest iteration is introducing new fighting mechanics and new levels of storytelling. It's promising a December 2017 release, but in my experience, delays are not uncommon in the industry, so this could very well be pushed back to 2018. But either way, it seems like they're taking their time to make a good experience to please the fans. Now for a bunch of bonus games. First off, some that I did list last year and the developments were delayed to this year. We've got Syberia III, Night in the Woods, Jenny LeClue, and Tacoma. And then a few other bonus games. There's The First Tree by David Well, which is about parallel stories about a fox and a family tragedy, and it's going to be 1 to 2 hours long. Full Throttle Remastered is releasing this year. Then we have That Next Game from the creators of Journey. I can't really include this in the list because it doesn't even have a name yet, but one image does say 2017. And then looking a bit further into the future, we've got Lost Ember, planned for a 2018 release, and Beautiful Desolation, planned for 2019, and that's an isometric not RPG. It's quite interesting. Anyway, most of these games should be releasing in 2017, but either way, you should keep an eye on developments to see if these adventures will make you hungry for the next challenge or be a mere walk in the park. And to wrap up, here's something I'd like to know. What kind of adventure game are you most into? Do you like the newer epic action adventures, or is it back to the old school point and clicks for you? I'd love to know. Alright, that wraps up my top 10 PC adventure games to watch in 2017. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, drop me a like or share it with your friends. The support is always appreciated. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.